Hey there, friends. Close your eyes for a moment and think about stepping out of bed, ready to enjoy your day, only to find your legs feel like they've sunk into a patch of thick, sticky mud. You've got plans. Maybe it's strolling to the mailbox to grab that letter from your niece, but every step feels slow and heavy, like you're lugging an extra sack of potatoes on your shoulders. Or picture this. You're reaching down to scoop up a little toy car your grandson left on the floor, and your knees groan like the rusty hinges on an old barn door. Maybe you're even in the backyard, hoping to water those roses you've tended for years. But halfway there, your legs start begging for a break. It's hard, isn't it? That quiet disappointment when your body doesn't match the energy in your heart. It's like a cloudy day settling in before you've had your coffee. I've talked to so many folks who feel this way, and it can drain you before the clock even hits noon. My friend Doris told me just last week, I used to chase my dog around the yard. Now I'm lucky if I make it to the porch without a sigh. It's a frustration we don't always talk about, but it's real and it tugs at you. But here's a little glimmer of hope. What if I told you there's a plain, everyday food, something sitting right in your kitchen cupboard that could wake your legs up a bit in just 12 hours? I'm not talking about some wild potion or a miracle pill you see on late-night TV. Just a simple familiar bite that might give your legs a gentle spark. It's not going to turn back the clock to your dancing days, but it could ease that heaviness enough to make your morning feel a tad brighter. Imagine that, a small lift that lets you shuffle to the garden or bend for that toy without feeling like you've climbed a hill. Sounds almost too easy, right? Well, I've got something warm and wonderful up my sleeve, and I can't wait to share it with you. Stick with me, because this cozy little secret might just bring a smile to your day, and maybe even a spring to your step. If this feels like your mornings, drop a comment. I'd love to hear. Subscribe and stick around for a simple fix that might help. Picture this, friends. Today I've got a little roadmap for us to explore together, and it's all about 3 gentle, down-to-earth ways a simple food can help your legs feel a bit stronger and more steady on their feet. We're not stopping there, though. I'm also throwing in a fun bonus tip that feels like a surprise gift, wrapped just for you. Plus, a true story about someone your age that'll tug at your heartstrings and maybe even bring a tear to your eye. I can almost see, tilting your head, maybe wondering, really, a food can do something for my creaky old legs? And I don't blame you one bit for that. We've all seen those ads promising the moon, fancy pills or gizmos that sound too good to be true. But here's the thing. What I'm sharing today isn't like that. These are ideas as easy as slicing bread. No strange ingredients, no big expenses. Just practical steps you can try with stuff you might already have at home. I've been chatting with folks like my cousin Ed, who's 82, and he said, if it's not simple, I'm not bothering. So I promise you, this is all about keeping things light and doable. Nothing that'll have you running to the store or scratching your head. You might be thinking, I've tried things before, and nothing worked. I get that too. Sometimes it feels like nothing will shift that tired ache. But trust me on this. These little tricks are backed by some smart folks who study how our bodies work, and they're gentle enough for anyone to give a whirl. We're talking small changes, not miracles. Think of it like adding a cushion to your favorite chair, just enough to make a difference. So go ahead, pull up a comfy seat, maybe pour yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee, and let's settle in. We're going to have a friendly chat about giving your legs a little boost, something to make tomorrow's walk to the kitchen feel a touch easier. You're in good company here, and I'm excited to share this with you. Imagine a chilly morning, friends, and reaching for something that feels like home. Good old oatmeal, that warm, hearty breakfast you might have scooped up with a smile years ago. It's more than just a cozy way to start the day. It's packed with a little helper called magnesium that does wonders for your muscles. You know how your legs sometimes feel tight and stubborn, like they're refusing to budge? Magnesium steps in to loosen things up, helping those muscles relax and glide a bit smoother. Think of it like pouring a splash of oil onto a stiff garden gate, creaky one minute, swinging open with ease the next. Researchers, those clever folks who study what keeps us ticking, say magnesium can take some of that heavy, achy weight off your legs, especially as we get a few more candles on the birthday cake. My Aunt Clara, bless her, used to say her legs felt like lead pipes after a day of baking pies, until she started her mornings with oats. So here's the easy part. Grab half a cup of plain oats. Nothing fancy, just the kind you find in the big canister at the store. Stir it up with a bit of water or milk, your pick, whatever feels right, and warm it on the stove or in the microwave. In 5 minutes flat, you've got a steaming bowl ready to go. If you're in the mood, toss in a pinch of cinnamon. It's not just for flavor, it's like wrapping yourself in a soft, sweet hug first thing in the morning. Maybe even add a few raisins if you've got them handy. My grandkids love sneaking those in when I'm not looking. It's simple, filling, and gentle on the stomach, like a quiet friend sitting with you at the table. Now, a little word of caution. If you're taking any pills, like for your heart or blood pressure, check with your doctor first. Magnesium's a good egg, but it can sometimes chatter too much with certain medications. Other than that, this is a small step that might just lighten your load, literally, and get your legs feeling a touch more limber by lunchtime. Picture yourself at the supper table, friends. Let's shift gears and talk about potatoes, those trusty spuds you can bake or mash without any fuss or fanfare. They're not just a side dish to fill your plate. They're brimming with potassium, a little powerhouse that keeps your muscles and nerves chatting happily together. You know how your legs can feel jittery or sluggish, like they've lost their rhythm? Potassium swoops in like a knob on an old radio, twisting away the static until the signal comes through clear and steady. Suddenly your legs feel like they've got a better beat to follow. Way back when, farmers and folks working the fields leaned on potatoes to keep their strength up through those long sun-up to sundown days. My grandpa used to tell me stories of hauling hay bales, a potato in his pocket for lunch, saying, "Kept me going when my legs wanted to quit." It's old wisdom that still holds up today. Here's how to bring that goodness home. Pick out a small potato, nothing too big, just the size that fits cozy in your hand. Pop it in the oven at dinner time, say 350 degrees for about 45 minutes, if you've got the time, or poke it with a fork and zap it in the microwave for a quick 5 or 6 minutes. When it's soft, split it open and add a tiny pat of butter, just enough to melt in and make it sing. Or, if you're in a mashing mood, scoop it out and mix it with a splash of warm water, maybe a tablespoon or two, until it's smooth as a cloud. No need for heavy cream or salt unless you want it. Keep it simple and light. Serve it up as a side with whatever's on your plate. Chicken, a bit of soup, you name it. It's warm, familiar, like a taste of Sunday dinners from years past, and it slips you a quiet little boost that might just steady your legs by morning. My neighbor Tom tried this last week and grinned. Didn't think a spud could make me feel spry. It's not flashy, but it's a gentle nudge, like a friend, patting your shoulder saying, "You've got this." Let's take a moment, friends, to uncover a little surprise. Oatmeal isn't just good for your muscles. It can also give your energy a lift, keeping your legs moving when they'd rather take a nap. You might be scratching your head wondering, wait, how does a bowl of oats help my legs stay strong? It's a fair question. Here's the secret. Oats are like a slow, steady campfire, burning nice and even to keep you warm all day. They're packed with what folks call slow-burning carbs. Think of them as sunlight peeking through a cloudy sky, chasing away the gloom bit by bit. That gentle, lasting energy flows right to your legs, stopping them from feeling like an old car sputtering out of gas halfway down the road. Scientists who study how food keeps us going say these carbs are like a recharge button for tired muscles, especially when you're not as spry as you once were. My friend Helen, who's 79, told me she used to fade by noon, legs dragging like wet laundry, until she started this trick. So here's how to make it work for you. Around mid-morning, say when the clock hits 10 or so, fix yourself a small bowl of oats. Nothing big, just a handful, maybe a quarter cup if you're measuring. Mix it with a splash of water or milk, your call, and warm it up until it's soft and inviting, like a little blanket for your insides. If you've got a few blueberries, in the fridge, toss them in for a pop of sweetness. They're like tiny jewels brightening your day. A couple of spoonfuls of this and you're set. No need to pile it high or make a feast. Keep it light so it sits easy on your stomach, like a whisper instead of a shout. I learned this the hard way once, ate too much and felt like I'd swallowed a brick. Small portions are the key here, just enough to carry you through without weighing you down. By lunchtime, you might notice your legs aren't begging for a break quite so soon. It's not a race-winning boost, but a quiet lift, like a breeze, nudging you along a garden path. So give it a try and see if that cloudy day feeling starts to clear up a bit. How about a fun little delight, friends? Picture this. You've got a banana sitting on your counter. Maybe it's been there a day or two, nice and ripe, and it's about to become your leg's new best friend. Here's the trick. Peel it. Mash it up in a bowl with a fork until it's smooth and creamy, and then, yes, really, rub a bit of that golden goodness right onto your legs. It's loaded with potassium, and believe it or not, some of that can soak into your skin, acting like a cool, calming balm after a long day on your feet. Imagine it as a soft breeze brushing over a sunburned patch, gentle, refreshing, and oh so soothing. When you spread it on, it feels silky and cool, like dipping your toes into a spa's fancy lotion without leaving your kitchen. My neighbor, Louise, who's 76 and loves her daily walks, tried this after I mentioned it over the fence. She came back the next day, eyes twinkling, and said, "My calves felt looser after my stroll, like I'd unlocked a secret weapon." She's been hooked ever since, calling it her banana spa day. Here's how to give it a whirl. Take half a banana, save the rest for a snack if you like, and mash it until it's a smooth paste, no big lumps. Sit down somewhere comfy, maybe with an old towel under you to catch any drips, and smear a thin layer over your calves or wherever your legs feel tight. It's a little sticky at first, but that cool, velvety touch settles in quick, like a whisper of relief. Let it sit for about 10 minutes, long enough to flip through a magazine or hum a favorite tune, then rinse it off with warm water. You'll feel a light tingle, maybe even a smile creeping up, because it's so simple yet so surprising. Louise swears she can walk to the corner store now without that usual stiffness creeping in, and she's got a bounce in her step she hasn't felt in years. It's not a doctor's cure, mind you, just a quirky, charming treat to pamper yourself with. So why not play along? It's a little burst of joy that might just brighten your day, like finding $1 in an old coat pocket. Go on, give your legs this silly, sweet gift. You deserve it. Gather round, friends, because I've got a story that'll warm your heart. Meet Betty, a 78-year-old from a quiet little town in Ohio, where the summers hum with crickets and the winters wrap everything in a snowy hush. Betty's always been the kind of woman who finds joy in the simple things, tending her garden, where her roses bloom like bursts of sunshine, and knitting soft, colorful blankets for her granddaughters to snuggle under. But a while back, something started to dim her light. Her legs just couldn't keep up anymore. A short walk to her mailbox, just a stone's throw from her porch, left her puffing like she'd run a mile, her breath fogging up the chilly air. Her knees ached deep and dull, like they'd weathered a thunderstorm that wouldn't let up. Worst of all, she had to set aside her knitting needles. Sitting too long turned her legs into stiff, stubborn boards, and she missed those quiet evenings stitching love into every loop for her little ones. "I felt like I was letting them down," she told me once, her voice catching just a bit. Then one crisp fall day, over a cup of tea, a friend leaned across the table and said, "Betty, try some oatmeal and potatoes. Nothing fancy, just good, old food." Betty raised an eyebrow. She'd eaten those her whole life without much thought, but she figured, why not? The next morning, she stirred up a small bowl of oats, the steam curling up like a warm hello. And that night, she baked a little potato, its earthy smell filling her kitchen like a memory of her mom's cooking. By the next day, something shifted. Her legs didn't feel like they could race the wind, but they were a touch lighter, steadier, like the ground wasn't fighting her so hard. She shuffled to the mailbox without that familiar huff, and her knees grumbled less, as if the storm had finally passed. Over the next few weeks, she kept at it. Oatmeal with a drizzle of honey, a potato mashed with a dab of butter. And slowly, she picked up her knitting again. One evening, she finished a blanket, all purples and blues like a twilight sky, and mailed me a photo. There she was, beaming in her garden, the blanket draped over her lap, roses peeking in the background. Tucked in the envelope was a note in her shaky handwriting. It's the small stuff that counts, and that's the magic, isn't it? Little changes, a bowl here, a spud there, adding up to a big, quiet joy, like finding your way back to the things you love. Well, friends, that's the little bundle of goodness I wanted to share with you today. Oatmeal to soothe those tired muscles, potatoes to keep your steps steady, and a quirky banana trick to coax out a smile when you least expect it. It's like a warm toolbox for your legs, isn't it? Nothing big or fancy, just simple everyday things that might make your mornings a bit brighter. So why not pick one to try today? Maybe heat up some oats while the birds are still chirping, or bake a little spud as the sun dips low, whatever feels right for you. Then come on back and drop a line in the comments. I'm all ears to hear how it went. Did your legs feel a touch lighter? Did that banana paste make you chuckle? I'd love to know, because your stories light up my day just as much as I hope. This does yours. If this chat left your heart a little warmer, like a cozy blanket on a cool evening, give it a quick like to let me know. And if you're up for more friendly talks like this, hit that subscribe button. It's like leaving the porch light on for me to pop by again. Oh, and here's a thought. Maybe share this with a pal who could use a lift. Someone who's been grumbling about creaky knees over coffee, or a family member who'd get a kick out of that banana idea. I can just imagine you passing it along with a grin, saying, "You've got to try this." It's those little connections that make all this so special. Now, a gentle reminder before we part. Grok here isn't a doctor, just a friend with some ideas, so have a quick word with your doc before you dive in, especially if you're on any meds. And let's keep those personal details under wraps online, okay? No need to spill the beans about your address or your grandkids' names. Just share the fun stuff. Thanks for sitting with me today. It's been like having you over for a cup of tea and a good chat by the fireplace. I can almost see you now, kicking back in your favorite chair, maybe with a fuzzy throw over your lap, feeling a bit cozier than when we started. That's what I hope for you. Small moments of comfort that add up. So get comfy, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time with more simple tricks and stories to share. Until then, take care, and know you've got a friend here cheering you on.